This week's Safety Toolbox Talk is once again, can you recognize the hazards? Every job we have is a little bit different, and what we have here today is an existing hospital project. We've got a big mechanical contractor that hired a Grove 550-ton crane to pick 7 large rooftop units, old ones, and drop them down on top of this truck to get them out of here. If you look at the crane, on the other side of the crane, we had to close that entire street with barricades and signage and flaggers. And then down here you've got a team getting ready to accept this overhead load that you never stand underneath. There are a lot of hazards associated with this type of work. Notice the taglines on the units. Those taglines help these guys control that load and swing that load properly onto this flatbed truck. Prior to this operation, we received a pick plan from Grove. We made sure that this terrain was not vaulted in any way. Obviously, he's got his outriggers down on massive distribution mats, and he's protected inside this lot that's usually full of vehicles. In addition to this hazard recognition on the ground, we look up on the roof, and I'm going to head up there in a minute for a second video and get the team rigging up there more units, but also we put in perimeter guardrails around the perimeter so that these guys could hand signal to the crane operator directly below and not have a fall exposure or have to tie off on leading edge. But again, we're talking about hazard recognition, and there are so many different types of hazards associated with this particular task here. So once again, part 2 of our hazard recognition. We have a bunch of riggers up here, iron workers, mechanical contractors, taking down old structural assembly and rooftop units. Take a look at what we have here now. We have this 550-ton crane. I'll walk over to the edge and you can see it, but look at the volume of weight taglined by this crew overhead at a hospital that we've evacuated the top 2 floors by crane standards, right? And now they're motioning toward the edge of the building. And moving over here along our guardrailed parapet wall, as he starts to come over the top of the wall, taking a look down at this vehicular traffic. We've closed this lane because we have a suspended load overhead now, right? So we permitted and closed that lane, and then our crane has set up in this parking lot down below, protected from the public. And as he brings down these pieces, we've got spotters down on the ground stopping traffic in both directions. Hazard recognition and pre-planning is critical for this type of work being performed on our projects. If any of that rigging were to fail, the men that are down below that are looking to accept the load are truly in harm's way. This week, let's talk about hazards associated on our projects, pre-planning, engineering out, and administering out known hazards that we're dealing with. Let's have a safe day. Let's have a safe week.